You're running on ghost power. You look fine on the outside. You're doing the motions, saying the prayers, and checking the boxes. But the suction is gone. Like a vacuum cleaner that's been unplugged, you're just coasting on the last bit of momentum before the inevitable crash. You feel irritable, dry, and fake because you're trying to operate out of a source you aren't currently plugged into. Stay until the end, because the fourth secret I share will dismantle everything you thought about effort. We've all been told that the harder you work, the further you get. So, we apply that same logic to God. We wake up at 5 a.m. to pray. We force ourselves to be kind when we're angry, and we try to discipline our way into peace. But have you noticed that the harder you try to be holy, the more exhausted and hollow you actually feel? It's like trying to power a whole city with a hand-crank generator. You're spinning as fast as you can, your muscles are screaming, and the lights are still flickering. Most of us aren't failing at being Christians. We're just dying from spiritual heat stroke because we've turned a relationship into a labor camp. Today, we're going to look at John 15 through a completely different lens. Jesus didn't give us a manual for better behavior. He gave us a secret for a different kind of power. Everything changes when you realize that your effort might actually be the very thing blocking your breakthrough. Before we dive into these 5 life-shifting secrets, I want to see who I'm talking to. If you've reached that point where trying harder just isn't working anymore, drop a "help me stay connected" in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable to stop the hustle and start finding real rest. 1. The biological mandate, the fruit secret. In John 15 verse 5, Jesus says, "I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit." In the natural world, a branch doesn't have a work ethic. You will never see a branch in a garden stressed out, worried that it won't produce enough for the harvest. Why? Because the branch knows it is just a straw. It exists to let the lifeblood of the vine move through it. When you focus on producing fruit, like patience or joy, you're acting like the source. But you are the delivery system, not the factory. Your only job is the connection. The fruit is the inevitable result of who you're attached to, not how hard you're grunting. 2. The ghost power trap. Jesus warns us in John 15 verse 4. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Think about a vacuum cleaner that gets unplugged. Sometimes, the motor keeps spinning for a few seconds because of the residual energy. It looks like it's working, but the suction is gone. Many of us are living on ghost power. We're doing the motions of faith, but we're running on the momentum of a prayer we said 3 years ago. If you feel irritable, dry, or easily offended, it's not because you're a bad person. It's a diagnostic light on your soul's dashboard telling you that you're running on a disconnected charge. 3. The abide mechanics, resident versus visitor. In John 15 verse 9, Jesus gives a command that sounds poetic, but is actually a lifestyle. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. The word remain or abide in the original Greek isn't about a visit. It's about residency. Think about a cell phone tower. Your phone doesn't visit the signal when it needs to make a call. It stays constantly pinging that tower. We often treat God like a spiritual gas station. We pull in when we're empty and leave as soon as we're full. But Jesus is saying, don't just visit me on Sunday morning. Bring me into the boardroom. Bring me into the argument with your spouse. Bring me into the silence of your commute. 4. The 0% reality. This is the hardest truth for a high achiever to hear. At the end of John 15 verse 5, Jesus drops the hammer. Apart from me, you can do nothing. He didn't say you'd be 50% less effective without him. He said you can do nothing. Imagine trying to keep a light bulb lit by polishing the glass until your hands bleed. You can make that bulb look beautiful, shiny, and perfect. but it will never glow until the current hits it. Stopping the striving means admitting that your sweat can't produce a single ounce of spiritual light. 5. The maintenance switch, clearing the line. John 15 verse 2 says, "Every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." Pruning sounds painful, but in a vineyard, it's the most loving thing a gardener can do. It's about removing the suckers, those tiny shoots that steal nutrients but never produce anything. In your life, these suckers are the distractions, the bitterness, and the self-reliance that steal your energy. Abiding means letting the Father clear the line. Every time you choose to trust instead of worry, you aren't earning points. You're just making sure the power can flow through you without hitting any blockages. If you're tired of the hustle culture of modern Christianity, I want you to hear this clearly. You were never meant to be a factory worker struggling to meet a quota for God. You were created to be a branch. As it says in John 15 verse 11, "I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete." The pressure is off. You don't have to will yourself into being a peaceful person. You just have to stay near the one who is peace personified. Real growth isn't a reward for your exhaustion. It's a byproduct of your surrender. The next time you feel that weight on your chest, that feeling that you aren't doing enough, don't try harder. Stop. Breathe. Reconnect. Move out of the work site and come back home to the vine. If this message helped you realize you can finally stop the frantic striving, hit that subscribe button for Beyond Verses. We're here to help you navigate the complex parts of faith and finance with a spirit that is actually at rest. And if you know someone who is currently running on 1% battery, please share this with them. Let's help each other learn the secret of staying connected. I'll see you in the next one.